Welcome. Today we're going to continue with our subjects. Today we're going to learn how to use do and does. First, we have to know that simple present is used to express the idea that an action is repeated or unusual. First, let's check our structure. Subject, auxiliary, verb in present. Here, the subjects, we have to use I, you, we, they, he, she, it. At that time, the auxiliary is going to use do not or don't plus the verb in present. Example, I do not like. I don't like. You don't want. You do not want. We do not eat. We don't eat. They do not need. They don't need. Don't forget in this part now the subjects he, she, it. The auxiliary is going to be does not or doesn't. Example, he does not live. He doesn't live. She does not like. She doesn't like. It does not eat. It doesn't eat. So don't forget, it's important to know I, you, we, and they're going to use do not or don't. He, she, it, they're going to use doesn't not or doesn't. Let's see a few examples. I am not happy. Now, the sentence is in negative, but here we are going to be in that form. I don't want to go to the party. Here, the subject I. Here, do not or don't want to go to the party. Don't forget that this is an apostrophe. The space between one consonant and another consonant, and they have to be an apostrophe in the top. I don't like the other kids. So here it's the subject I and don't. The verb is in simple present, and that's the complement. I don't eat cake, especially birthday cake. Here the person is mentioned that the person don't. It's in negative. Don't forget, if you use I, it's when you're talking about yourself. Here the verb eat, and cake, and especially birthday cake, it's all the complement. I don't think I should go to the party. So this person don't think that is should go to the party. So don't forget here the subject, the negative form don't, verb think, and refers to this person. I should go to the party. So this person is not going to be participating in the activity, in the party. My sister is not a nice person. Here we are using in a negative form, in simple present. But now we have to use in a negative. She doesn't share her toys. This is the subject, my sister. Or we can use she, because we are talking about a girl. And the negative form is not. But here it's in a negative form, doesn't. Here, now, the difference between the simple present and in a negative option, it's how we can manage this sentence. isn't, and a complement. Here, she, the auxiliary, does not or doesn't, and here it's the verb, share. Don't forget, it's an important because we have to remember this structure. Let's see another example. She doesn't like playing outside. She doesn't have friends. Here, where the verbs are like and have. Now, the negative option or the auxiliary options are doesn't, doesn't. Don't forget, they use she, he, it, doesn't. She, because we are talking about a girl. Let's see now this example. He, it's a man. He doesn't live with us. He doesn't call me. Here, subject, he. We are talking about a man. Doesn't. That means is not doing it. Live, this is the verb. Complement, with us. He doesn't. Here, it's the auxiliary. The verb is call. Now, let's see another examples. He doesn't smile. He doesn't visit the family. Here, now in the picture, it's about a man because we are talking about he. And here, we see the sentence. He doesn't, that is the auxiliary. Visit, it's the verb. Here, he doesn't smile. Here we have all the complements to create a sentence. Let's see another examples. Now, they don't. Now, it's easy to know because it's they. This is my subject. That means two people. They don't like. It is the verb like their jobs. They don't talk about it. So here we are talking about two people. They don't. This is the verb talk about it. Here, so we have to be focusing how we use our sentence. We are not a typical family. Here, this is the subject, verb to be, but in a negative option, and complement. It's completely different when you use this form at this form. Here, subject, auxiliary do or not, don't, verb, like, verbs, talk. In the other option, here, the verb to be, it's only am, is, are. So they are completely different. Now, let's see another example. We don't sit at a table for dinner. We don't go out a lot. Here, it's a clear example how we can use we. That means a big company or a family, or they're mentioned about people that are included. We don't sit. It is the verb. At a table for dinner. We don't go out a lot. The verb go, the auxiliary don't, and my subject we. Here, let's see another example. Put the verbs in brackets into the correct form to make questions. That is homework number 1. Here, don't forget, you have to put the verbs in brackets. Those are the brackets. You have to put the verbs in brackets into the correct form to make questions. Don't forget, it's a question. This is homework number 1. You, mineral water. The verb, drink. Sarah and Linda, their pets. The verb feed. Number 3. Your teacher, your homework. The verb check. Number 4. They in the old house. The verb live. Number 5. The cat on the wall in the mornings. The verb sit. Don't forget homework number 1. Now we're going to check how we can create a sentence in an interrogative form. Now the auxiliary do and those are going to be first the subject and then the verb in present. Don't forget a question mark at the end. Here, do plus subject and verb in present. Do I play? Do you eat? Do we sleep? Do they win? Don't forget the verbs are usable in all the forms. Now, in verbs in present, they're going to be usable with all the subjects. Does he like? Does she want? Does it need? Does he sleep? Does she eat? Does it play? Do you want? Do we win? Do they need? Don't forget its structure. Now, let's see some examples. Do you like ice cream? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Now, don't forget that here the structure. Here, auxiliary do. Subject, you. Like is the verb. Complement, ice cream. Question mark at the end. Here, do options. Yes, comma, subject, auxiliary, do. No, comma, subject, I. Negative form, don't. Here, in that example, now you'll be able to see how you can create a sentence. Let's see. Do you like? Now, in this space, you can use any verb. Example, do you like to dance? Do you like fruit? Do you like TV? Do you like jump? Do you like to cook? Do you like vegetables? Do you like apples? Don't forget here that you are able to create your own sentence. Let's see another example. Do you speak English? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Here, the auxiliary do and the subject you and our complement speak English. Yes, I do. The answer in a positive form is yes, then the subject and the auxiliary. In a negative form, it's no, comma, subject I and the negative don't. Let's see now you can use this to create another sentence. Do you speak Chinese? Do you speak Italian? Do you speak Spanish? Here, don't forget the verb speak. It's able to mention about another language. Let's see another example. Do you eat fried chicken? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Here, the auxiliary do, an, or subject you, verb eat, complement fried chicken, question mark at the end. Now, in your answer, be careful when you say yes, then you have to use your subject and the auxiliary do. If you see in this sentence starts with do, and your answer in a positive form has to be do. In a negative form, no, the subject. And here, now, with the sentence starting do, you have to answer with do. But here is a negative. No, I don't. Now, you are able to create your own sentence. Do you eat spaghetti? Do you eat chicken? Do you eat vegetables? Do you drink water? Do you drink soda? Do you drink milk? And don't forget, question mark. Here, now, you understand how to use this. So don't forget the structure. Subject, then the auxiliary, verb, and the complement. Let's see a few examples. Does your sister live in Mexico? Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. Now, let's see. Those. The sentence starts with those because in the structure they're mentioned they have to use those for he, she, it. Now, sister, it's a girl. It's about she. Now, does your sister live in Mexico? Yes, she. The sentence starts with those. Now, we have to use those at the end. In a negative form, no, comma, she, because we are talking about a sister, and it's a girl. No, she doesn't. Don't forget when you have to use do or those. Does your brother do exercise? Does, brother, it's about he, it's a man. Does your brother do exercise? The verb, do. Auxiliary, does. Does your brother do exercise? Positive answer, yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Don't forget, in a negative, at the end is going to be another negative. Does your father work on a computer? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Now, here, don't forget, father, brother, cousin, grandfather. So they are completely different, and you have to be carefully how we can use he or she. Father, he. Does your mother cook well? Yes, she does, because now it's about a mother. It's a girl. Those. The sentence starts with those. My answer includes those in a positive option. Negative option. No, she is a mother. She doesn't. Here we are talking about a mother, and she is a girl. Do your grandparents often visit you? Grandparents, it's plural. Grandparents, that means two. That means people And here, don't forget when they're mentioned about more than two, it's they. And now, if you remember, the structure mentioned that you have to use do plus the subject they, we, you. In this case, they, you have to use do. Do your parents often visit you? Let's see you answer. You can answer, yes, they do. No, they don't. Do we study in CETEC? Yes, we do. Now, in this structure, yes, that we have to use do, because now we're mentioning about we in a general. Do we study in CETEC? Yes, we do. No, we don't. In this case, yes, we do. We study in CETEC. Do we play games in class? Yes, we do. We. Subject, do. And the auxiliary and the subject, they're going to be together. We is our subject. Do is the auxiliary. The verb, play. Do we play games in class? Yes, we do. No, we don't. Now, let's see how it looks in a few questions. Does seawater freeze when the temperature drops to 0 degrees Celsius? Yes, seawater freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. Here, in this structure, they use those because there's it. Seawater, it's in a thing. The verb freeze. And here, now, they're mentioned that here, yes, the seawater freezes. Here, the verb has to add es. Do you remember how to add es, es, is to verbs? Here we're going to use again. Check. Yes, seawater, verb, 0 degrees Celsius is a complement. Now let's see another question. Okay, I have another question for you. Does the Red Sea separate Africa from Asia? Yes, it does. The Red Sea separates Africa from Asia. Let's see, in here, the structure does, it's to start a question. And here, the Red Sea, they use it because it's a thing. The verb separate from one place to another place. Yes, it does. The Red Sea separates. Now, do you see the verb? Now, don't forget to use this structure. And don't forget to use how we can manage those verbs. Africa from Asia are separate. The Red Sea, it's in the middle between one place and another one. So it's important to know. Let's see another question. Do koalas live in Africa? Koalas. That means more than two. It's plural. They use do. Don't forget that we have to use do for we, you, they. And including I. Do koalas, plural, live? Live is the verb. Complement in Africa. It's in a negative question. No, they don't. Because they don't live in Africa. Koalas live in Eastern Australia. Here, the verb is in a simple form. Why? Because if you remember, plural, they don't switch the verb. That's the reason. Let's see another question. Do birds sing because they are happy? No, they don't. They sing to communicate with other birds. Here, it's so easy to remember. Do birds. Birds is plural. So now the verb is in a regular form. The complement and at the end question mark. No, they don't. Birds, they sing is plural to communicate with other birds. The verb sing. Don't forget. Ready? Now, let's check the structure. In affirmative, the answer yes, the subject he, she, it, the verb in simple present. Now we have to add s, es, ies, plus the time expression. Let's see an example. Those. Felicia, it's one person. It's a girl. She. The verb is in simple present. And now the verb, when they use the answer yes, the verb is going to be with one of these depends of the verb. Let's see. Does Felicia understand English? Yes, she understands English very well. Here, don't forget, most of the verbs, they have to add s. So don't forget this structure. In affirmative, now, yes, I, we, you, and they use do. And the verb in simple present plus a time expression. But here, those characteristics are not included. We, you, and they are not included with this. So the verbs, they have to be verbs in simple present. They don't have to switch. Do Janet and Johan study law? Janet, 1. Johan, 2. It's plural. So now they have to be with plural. They. Yes, they study law in the morning. Here, the verb study is going to be in a regular form. Don't forget the structure. In a negative option. Now, with a negative, no, I, you, we, they use do not or don't. The verb in simple form and a time expression. Here, it's important to know when you use I, you, we, and they in a negative form, the verbs are not going to switch anything. And the negative form you use in two different forms, do not or don't. Now, the negative form with he, she, it, now include the word doesn't or does not. The verb in simple form is not going to use any difference. The verb has to be in a simple form. Only they're going to switch with a positive answer, not with a negative answer. And the time expression is going to be included. Ready? Now let's see some examples. In a negative form, does Daniel study English at night? No, she doesn't study English at night. Here, in this part, the structure does It refers to one person, he or she. In this case, she. Does Daniel study? The verb study and the complement English at night. Now, in a negative form, don't forget that any verb is going to be different. The verb has to be in a simple present form. No, she doesn't study English at night. Do your friends like romantic movies? No, they don't like romantic movies. Now, friends, plural. That means they. They use do. Do your friends like the verb like? Don't forget, in a negative option, all the verbs they have to be in a simple present. Do your friends like romantic movies? No, they don't like romantic movies. And here you can see clear how can use those and do. And in a negative option, both they have to answer according to the sentence. Those, but in a negative, doesn't. Do, don't. The verb is going to be as in simple present. Let's see another example. Put do or does into the gaps. Peter lived close to the university CETEC. You learn psychology at CETEC. Andrew and Martin ride their bikes to school. They play in the garden. Sandy's hamster lives in a cage. Now, you have to answer this question. That is your homework. Ready. Now, we have to check do and those answers. Let's see. Homework number 1. Put the verbs in brackets into the correct form to make questions. Here, the verbs drink, feed, check, live, sit. Let's see sentence number 1. Here, we have to use the verb drink in one of these spaces. But here, the sentence has to be with a question mark. That means it's a question. And the subject, it's you. So now we have to use do or does. Answer number 1. Do you drink mineral water? Here, subject, you, auxiliary, do. Number 2. Sarah and Linda, plural. Their pets. Verb, feed. Do Sarah and Linda feed their pets? It's a clear example. There are they. And the verb is in a simple form. Don't forget, any verb is going to be different in questions. Does your teacher check your homework? Now, here, teacher, 1. So don't forget, they use those, he, she, it. The verb, check, it's in a simple form. Number 4. They. Do they live in the old house? Here we have another clear example. You, Sarah and Linda, they use do. They use those when it's in a singular. Let's see the final. Number 5. The cat. It's only 1. Does the cat sit on the wall in the mornings? Now, let's see this clear example. Check your answers. Homework or those into the gaps. Read carefully the sentence and you have to use do with the subject I, we, you, they. You have to use those with the subjects he, she, it. Read carefully. Peter lived close to the university setec. Does Peter live close to University setec? Number 2. Do you learn psychology at setec? Number 3. Andrew and Martin is plural. So now, do Andrew and Martin ride their bikes to school? Number 4. Now, in a number 4, it's about they. And that means they don't have names. But it's optional to use another person. So now, here in that sentence, with using they, we have to use the word do. Do they play in the garden? So be careful how you use those words. Do, Andrew and Martin. Do you, does Peter, when it's in singular. Now, the last one. Sandy's hamster live in a cage. Now, Sandy's, it's a girl, so that means it's only one person. She's talking about a hamster, but it's about Sandy's. Does Sandy's hamster live in a cage? Check your answers.